Every youth wants to be unique, that is you, but the world around you is trying its best day and night to make you everybody else. The question is whether you want to be you or everybody else. Known for his simple living and high thinking, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Azad was an Indian aerospace scientist. He led a number of successful missile programs in the country, and in 2002, he became the 11th President of India. He was loved by all, people from all backgrounds, all religions, all political parties. And he was a poet, a writer, and interestingly, he used to play veena, a classical music instrument. His favorite thing was to teach young people. And that's what he did in most of the later part of his life until his demise in 2015. But he continues to inspire us through his quotes, poems, and writings. I've picked some of my favorite quotes from his autobiography, Wings of Fire. And that's what I want to share with you. The question is whether you want to be you or everybody else. So what does he mean by that? What does being unique or being like everybody else means? For most of us, since our childhoods, we have been told that for a successful, a satisfying life, there is a certain way of living. Having a lot of money, finding a partner and getting married by a certain age, buying a big house, buying that expensive, shiny looking car, basically defining a perfect model for a happy life. But the problem is that perfect model might not be perfect specifically for you. Maybe these things don't resonate with your authentic self. There's nothing wrong in having all of these things and having aspirations to have these. It's in fact brilliant to have a lot of money, have a big house. But as Dr. Kalam says, the question is whether you want to be you or everybody else. So whether you aspire or desire to have lots of money, a big house, a big car, because that something inspires you, or is that because you're trying to find a social acceptance or trying to be someone else who you perceive as they're having a successful life? I think the emphasis here by Dr. Kalam is to retain your own original qualities, talents, and values. Because what happens is, when we are trying to be someone else, if we are trying to achieve things like someone else did, then you're losing your own special qualities and talents. So the greatness within you will never be manifested because you're always trying to be someone else who you can't be because you are unique and they are unique. The famous Irish poet Oscar Wilde said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is taken." So you can't be anyone else. You can be just you. And if you're not pursuing your real, true qualities and talents and just trying to be someone else, then you are actually limiting your potential, the greatness within you. If you're a parent watching this video, please never force your child to be like someone else's child who might have become a doctor and have 5 houses or anything else cliched. There's nothing wrong with becoming a doctor. It's brilliant, by the way. Because your child has unique qualities and talents. And if you're forcing your child to be like someone else, then you are actually limiting their potential to be their best, to achieve greatness and to do great things. So guide them to become the best version of themselves rather than like someone else's child. Dr. Kalam carries on saying, being like everybody else is convenient at first glance, but not satisfying in long term. So it might seem convenient to follow someone else's path or do things like someone else has done. And we do that for a number of reasons. Nothing wrong with all of these aspirations, and nothing wrong with having desires of all of these things. Going back to what Dr. Kalam said, the question is whether you want to be you or everybody else. Because otherwise, it seems like we are just wasting our time. You know this famous poem by Rabindranath Tagore. Spring has passed, summer has gone, winter is here, and the song that I was meant to sing remains unsung. For I've spent my days stringing and unstringing my instrument. So the question is, how can we tell in this hyper social media world that the desires and the aspirations that I have are in line with my true authentic self, or are just an influence of everybody else? Let's try to understand this in this way. Let's say this is you, and this is the happiness or the joy or the satisfaction that you're looking for in your life. So the conventional way is to think that if I fill my life with, let's say, a lot of money, that big expensive car, a partner in a marriage, that would lead me onto this happiness or success or satisfaction in my life. So let's say currently you have a desire to buy an even bigger car, more expensive car. If the lack of this makes you feel like there is a gap in my life, that without this bigger expensive car, I cannot reach my happiness. I cannot be happy. I cannot be socially accepted. I don't feel confident. I don't feel that I have achieved something. I am successful until I fill the gap with that big expensive car, right? So that is a clear sign that you are actually influenced by others. You are only desiring this car, this expensive bigger car, because you would want to be socially accepted, and this is just an influence. You want to be equal or better than others. Like Dr. Kalam said, being like everyone else might seem convenient at first glance, but over the time, it will not add to any more satisfaction or happiness in your life. That'll be just a short-term thing, just a convenient way to cheer yourself up, so to speak. But in reality, the way it works is, this is you, and this happiness is actually always with you. You don't have to go somewhere, do something, get something, buy something to be happy. So that's always with you. That's just sitting with you. You just don't recognize it. Now, from this understanding, from this perspective, that big expensive car that you desire, it should enhance your already existing happiness and satisfaction. Rather than completing the path to happiness, it should add to your current happiness. So for example, if you're a family of 4, husband, wife, 2 kids, and your kids are now growing up, and every weekend you go for a nice picnic. If you had a bigger car, that would mean that you could actually invite your friends to join you, or your children's friends to join you, and it'll be a nice, better, fun ride all together in one car. So in that way, you already have happiness, and this bigger, expensive car is actually adding on to your happiness. Same is with lots of money. It's enhancing your happiness. Great relationship, marriage, it's enhancing your already satisfied self. So that's some self-reflection for us. And ask yourself whether you want to be you or everybody else. We'll talk about more of Dr. Kalam's quotes in the coming videos. Take care.